Peace to everybody who's gonna watch this video. Do you see the video on the page, Ma? Can you look at my YouTube page and see if you see the video on there? Yeah. But peace to everybody who's gonna watch this video. Um, it's the Unapologetic Nomads. And we have a special guest. Oh yeah, cool. So we were here in South Carolina. We were in Ellerville, Georgia. Sorry, Ellerville, Georgia, for a family reunion, and I got to link up with a lot of my family. And it's an honor right now to be here in Florida with my grandmother. How you doing, Grandma?
I'm well, thank you.
Nice.
Be, okay. From growing up, I
Yeah.
can remember when they told us that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves.
So
But
what year was that you were born?
1928,
Okay, 1928.
and Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves in 1914. I'm thinking, I'm not sure. But anyway, I still felt that we were still slaves.
Oh yeah.
My parents were sharecroppers, and to me, we was treated as if we was just servants, slaves. We had to do whatever the owner of the property said for us to do.
So what
Even
were y'all sharecroppers?
we were sharecroppers. Sharecroppers mean that you were living on the owner's place. He owned the land, the house. He supplied the animals for the farming and the equipment. My parents lived there and had to work to pay back what we used of his because we was on his land. Sharecroppers, you sharing, you do the work, the owner owns everything.
Okay.
That's mean you or just to me as a slave.
So where did you grow up? Like what town and which city, which state?
Ellerville, Georgia.
Okay.
The year 1928.
1928.
Yes.
All right.
So still to me slavery was going on. Everything the owner said we had to do. He would come out and inspect. What are you doing? My father's name was Masco. Always addressed him as Masco, as a servant. Masco, did you do such and such a thing? Masco, I thought you told me you had plowed that land over there, and I'm over here and I see it's not plowed. Now, isn't that treating a grown adult as a slave?
So what happened if he didn't do it?
He was like not punished, but scolded, talked down to, as if you should have did this, or why didn't you do this, or why didn't you do that, as if my daddy was a child and he was the father. That's the way I looked at it. One day he came to the house, and daddy was at the house from the field doing work, fixing the pig pen where the pigs had gotten out. So I'm in the house with my mother, helping her prepare food because the food had to be ready. They come to the house at 12 o'clock from the field to eat dinner. It had to be ready and on the table. So this was our job, my mother and myself. The others was in the field working with daddy. Okay, he said, daddy said to me, in order to fix the pig pen, he needed a hammer. Mavis, bring me a hammer. I take my daddy the hammer. He said to my daddy, Masco, why ain't this gal in the field? Boy, that stuck with me. My daddy didn't look up, still fixing, and he said, she's here helping her mother in the house. And I thought to myself, why should he be talking to my daddy like that? I'm not his child, I'm my daddy's child. I kept that in me. I never forgot it. And every time I talk about it now, I get mad. Because nobody is supposed to be talking to another human being like that about their own child. This stuck with me, and it made me work hard and to push my children hard. And my dad always said, whatever you get in your head, no man can take out. And whatever you get in your head will help you through your life. I push myself and I push my kids to get all that they could in their head. And that would be able to help take them through life. They wouldn't have to be no slave for nobody. So this was my theory coming up under slavery. I say it was slavery because we was talked down to and we was treated like slaves.
So when you were younger, were like people like still being lynched and things of that nature?
No, that was in the past, and thank God it was. We had, I guess, moved up an inch or two above, beyond that. We had gotten out of that stage when Abraham Lincoln declared freedom for the slaves. That cut that off.
Okay.
But it didn't cut off white men being in charge of us. When they say, you free, you can go, we had nowhere to go. We had nothing to do. No land, no nothing. So we still had to depend on the white man to furnish a place for us to stay and to work. And when we worked, everything we worked for, half went to the boss, which was the white man that owned the land, and half was supposed to go to us to live on. I can remember one year, the boss man came out and said, Masco, you split even. You don't have anything left. So that meant whatever we put into the land,
If you have questions,
the work
if you have questions, you can ask.
that we did, it wasn't enough to pay off our portion to be paid half and half. So that meant that whole winter, Daddy had nothing to furnish us with food, clothes. We went barefooted, cold weather, oh, hardly anything to eat. Rabbits, squirrels, birds, anything we could do to get through that winter. It wasn't easy. So being free from slavery, we really wasn't free. We were still slaves to a certain extent.
So when did things start to change, like, and get better?
It got better as the black man started to realize where he was and where he wanted to be and where he needed to be and what he needed to do for his family. He started to saving that he could purchase his own land, own different things for himself. Had to work hard to do this, but it was done. And I'm so proud of our family because we did work up to wherein we was able to bring our parents out from under the bondage, I would say bondage, the white man working for him instead of ourselves. And we was able to purchase a home for them so that they would have modern things like we have today. all the convenience that we have today. We was able to work together and get them a place where they could relax and enjoy some of the nicer things of life rather than outside facilities for all your personal needs. They had it in home, inside of their homes now, and they could enjoy. That was the things that brought joy to us, to have them to come up from slaves, from outside toilet to inside toilet, from outside going to the spring, getting water and well, to having running water in the house. That was like America to us.
Okay, Mom. Good morning, everyone. You know me. You've seen me
Yeah, this is my
before.
mother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good to see you again. This is my mother. My mother is 96 years old. So we kind of switched this year. She's 96. I'm 69. And we just celebrated our family reunion. And so she's expressing some of the things that she's gone through throughout her life. And a question that I always wanted to know from my mother was she has seen many things happen. Now, were there airplanes during the time you were a little girl?
No, I don't remember. Yeah, there was an airplane, but there was what they call the crop airplanes. They didn't have the jets like they have now. They started with the propellers. I don't know how they did it.
The crop planes, that
crop-
sounds pretty, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, the crop planes. Now,
Yeah, they had those. They didn't have the jets like they have now.
okay, so
they
for
started with them.
entertainment, you didn't have television. So
We
what
didn't.
did you all do for entertainment?
We had games and things that we played as children together.
Then you listened to the radio.
Well, later on, teenagers, they did finally get a radio with batteries, operated on batteries. And sometimes we could get the reception, and sometimes we couldn't, but we had to hold our ears closed in order to hear it. Started out with that type of radio,
What was the first car you remember having?
an old Ford, and we had to push it up and down the hill to make it start. Pushed it up the hill, and then let it, when it come down the hill, it would get up enough speed, and then it would crank up. Daddy would take off. But first, even before we got the car, we was go 5 miles to town on the wagon and mule. Or go to church, wagon and mule. And when we go to town, which is in Ellerville, we would park the mule behind that store, corner store, and leave them there until they go and shop. Then take them some food so they could eat. And then we go hook the wagon up, go back 5 miles home. So that's how we traveled until we got this Ford car. We got the Ford car, but we still had to push it to get it started and crank it up in the front of the car to get it started. It wasn't easy, but we took it as we advancing. We are growing now. We are getting better. So
Now, the thing that I really am very proud of Granddad for doing, even though he was a sharecropper and he worked for a white man, he still grew his own crops in the event that there wasn't enough food for the family from the sharecropping. They had their own garden.
Their
they
own
had
garden.
their own way of getting food. So he had 19 children that were birthed by my grandmother, but 13 grew to be adults. And unfortunately, they didn't have enough boys. They had 10 girls and 3 boys. But those girls were out there in that field, you know, plowing and sowing and harvesting just like they were men. And so some of them stayed home to cook. My mother, she was one of the ones that was out in the field. She was the one that would go in and cook too. So I'm so proud of her. And I thank God for her diligence and her efforts and how she helped to stay with her mom and stay with her family. And to this day, all of the sisters, and we've lost the last brother, but they call each other every day. They have so much family love for each other. They talk with each other, and I've never seen them have an argument. If there was one, they made sure it was clear before they departed from each other. So family is very important to my mother. Pat Brown. There are four of them living now, and they're all girls in her family.
Yeah, hold 1 second.
My mom's getting a call. See, that's why I'm probably calling her now to see how she's doing.
You got your phone, Grandma? I think it's under in your lap. Oh, peace to the family out here. We out here in Florida, Orlando, Florida, family, where it's beautiful out here. They got some good mangoes out here. We gonna get to that later though. But yeah. So, Grandma, one thing I have to ask you. Growing up, I know you had talks with your parents. You knew your
Tell me, go call her.
yeah, you knew your grandparents and everything, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, were you ever? Did they ever teach you that you come from Africa?
No.
Okay. Okay.
But I can remember they never taught us about Africa. I can remember them telling us that my grandfather,
Anthony.
Anthony, he, mother said that he came from Africa.
Okay.
That's the only one I can remember. That's the only time I heard them, speak about Africa. Now, on my father's side, I never heard them speak of anything about who came from Africa.
Okay. Now, where did they say they come from?
They never stated. They just knew that. I guess they just remember they all grew up here in this
In the
in
U.S.
this country.
All right. So they spoke about being Indians here.
In
Who's Native in your family, Grandma? Who's the Native American in your family from your grandparents?
Oh, okay. Grandmama Emmerich. She was, it was stated that she was an Indian girl, right off the Indian reservation. And her husband was the one that come from Africa. And they got married. Now that's on my mother's side. I don't, now my grandmother on my daddy's side, she can remember that she was 12 years old when freedom cried out. That means she was born under slavery. And being from 12 years old, she was still living under slavery, not knowing that she was really free, still following the same thing as the slaves did.
Nice. And I know you talked to some elders, Tina, about I guess our history here in America. So what do you know about like I guess grandmother Emery and the Native American side?
We had a cousin, Jesse Collier. He lived to, I believe he was just about 100 or just about to be 100 years old. And I was at a reunion one year, and we were trying to determine what Native American tribe Grandma Emmert was from, because everyone who describes her as a Native American, describes her as having that red skin tone, long jet black hair, straight. She actually called my grandmother Red Bird because she said that she had skin tone similar to hers. And when I was trying to find that information out, no one could ever tell me what tribe she was from, but they all described her the same. They all described her and said that she was Native American. And then Jesse Collier told me how he definitely knew she was Native was because there's a story that was told that when the Klansmen would come through the town, they would be looking for my great-great-grandfather, Anthony Richardson, who was married to Emmerich. And he would go and have to hide in the woods. But when they would come to the house, they wouldn't mess with my great-great-grandmother Emmerich because she was Native, and they wouldn't mess with the children. But they were looking for Anthony Richardson because they knew that he was a black man. So he would hide in the woods until they would leave, and then they would come back. So to them, to the family, that was also proof, not just from visual proof, but also proof of what the white men were doing then when they were trying to kill black men and, you know, hurt black men. They wouldn't touch her, not because she was a black woman, but because she was Native, and they wouldn't touch the children either. But we still don't know, you know, what tribe she was from.
Yeah.
But we do, you know, just from passing down information, my grandmother remembers her. We have older cousins too that are still around that remember her growing up in Georgia, and they all describe her the same.
Cool. Nice. Yeah. So, Grandma, from back then to now, like, how has things changed?
Oh my goodness, it's like a miracle. We are not segregated in the schools. We're not segregated in the towns and the stores. You couldn't go into the front doors of their houses. Now we can go any place we want to go, like we want to go. And we don't have to be looked down on or pushed aside or may feel that we're not as good. It's like free at last, free at last.
Yeah.
Thank God Almighty, we're free at last.
Nice.
And being able to know that I can go into a store now or into a nailery and have a white man do my pedicure.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Grandma, we about to hang up, let this go. But I just want to ask you: you've been on this earth for 96 years. Do you have any just words of wisdom for everybody who's watching, or just advice for anybody who's watching?
Yes. Learn to be true to God, true to yourself, and true to your fellow man. And know without a shadow of doubt that God is in charge and you belong to him and you owe nobody nothing but God. To be obedient to him and him alone, not man. Know that you can truly trust God and him alone.
Thank you, Grandma, so much for your time. We appreciate you and love you.
Love you more. God bless.
God bless.